WCRFM.
Chris Allen in conversation. This is WCRFM.
Joining us now, we've got Paul Ryder and Marcus Cottrell of LGBTQ Plus Sparkle. Guys, good to see you.
Hello.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Not too bad, thank you.
Now, you must be really thrilled. You've been going. Tell us a little about Sparkle to start with. How long you've been going and things like that.
We've been going nearly 6 years this year. We've done a lot of arts and crafts activities, meetups. We started Zooms before COVID lockdown,
right.
which was a massive lifeline to people. And that's a little bit about what we do.
And why did you get it going in the first place?
Because it was a massive gap to the LGBT and plus community. So we thought, what do we know about running a group at the start? And it's just gone from strength to strength, and we're doing so much amazing hard work in the community.
Right. And Marcus, what particularly do you enjoy that you do?
The Zooms.
Right.
We have Zoom meetings for the community, and they all join.
Right. And as you said there, it's really important that during COVID particularly, people got very, very isolated, very lonely, and impacted very strongly on their mental health and well-being.
Mm-hmm.
And is times changing a little bit for the LGBTQ plus community? Are you feeling more included?
I think we are feeling more included, but there's always going to be an element of hate. People that are against LGBT community. There's a lot of protests, as we all know.
Yeah.
But we have to fight for equality.
Well, exactly, and I'm really sad to hear this because
it still happens.
Well, I'm by background I'm a church minister, and this morning I heard a story coming in about somebody who was gay who joined a church, and now he's trying to get damages from them because they tried to exorcise him. They're basically saying that being gay was something devilish. And is that the sort of things you've faced? I know there is homophobia around. I've spoken to other guests about that around, but there's also people who will counter that homophobia as well. And so we want to focus on those who want to recognise the importance of including everybody.
People think LGBT is a lifestyle choice. It isn't.
Yeah,
and that's what some people think.
Right, indeed. And Marcus, have you faced any homophobia yourself? With people?
Not really.
No, you've been okay.
Yeah, I've been fine.
That's really good. And Paul?
I won't go into too much specifics, but I've had homophobic abuse from moving multiple accommodations. But where I am now at the moment with my partner, I am quite happy. But yeah, I have faced it without going into specifics.
Yeah. And Sparkle's obviously contributed a lot towards including yourselves and other members of the gay community.
Yeah, we have. We recently did an activity. It was to do with arts and crafts like painting on canvases, and we're doing that in partnership with Wildside Activity Centre, and we had an organisation, Progress Care, and they support people with complex needs, and they came along with a support worker, and it was just amazing where they had a really good time. To be included in all walks of life is amazing what we do.
Yeah, I've just been having a read upon your organisation online, and there's loads of different websites. And one of the things that really stuck out to me was the intersectionality. We talk about the LGBTQ diaspora, but you've been looking at different, as you mentioned, complex needs, people of black, brown and multi-ethnic backgrounds.
Yeah.
And obviously arts and crafts is such a good form of storytelling and expression.
Yeah.
Do you theme your sessions, or is it just a free-for-all, get involved?
We are an LGBT organisation, but we do have people from the heterosexual community coming to our organisation to joining our arts and crafts, as well as the LGBT community. It's a safe space for everybody, but we do get people from the heterosexual community that are accepting of LGBT, so it's a safe space for everybody. Yeah. But we are an LGBT organisation, but we don't like excluding anybody.
See, that's beautiful. And we've been talking about all things LGBTQ Sparkle Wolverhampton. And actually, a lot of your journey towards setting up this social group, but the learning that you've had along the way, we talked about learning how to network, all the other skills that have come along your journey, which you once thought was probably impossible.
Yeah, true. So true. I didn't think for someone that's I know we say disabilities, but the correct terminology is neurodiverse. I never thought I'd have learnt all the skills that I would have learnt now. Obviously, we set the group up, me and Marcus, for the community because there was a massive gap. But myself, Paul Ryder, because someone with a disability growing up from school, college, poor education, and obviously I knew at the age of 15 I was gay, but obviously back then it wasn't spoken about, and I probably would have come out a lot sooner.
How long did you have to hide it for?
I don't think I come out properly until I was about 18.
Right.
But I knew when I was about 15. I was probably nearly 16. Round about
They must have been really difficult years where you know yourself, but you can't tell those who are nearest.
I think things were different back then than they are today.
Yeah, absolutely. They must have been difficult years, and you were honest enough to say you got some challenges really on your journey as well. So a lack of confidence must have been in there as well somewhere.
Yeah, I've confidence and stuff.
Yeah,
in myself.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. And you talked about the ecosystem that has helped you set up your group and all the different things that you've learned along the way. You talked about just things that we take for granted, but I know that there's probably senior leaders out there in big professional organisations that still don't know how to blind copy in an email. Or,
I never knew that before.
You've learned so much.
My message is to people that have disabilities, just going off disabilities at the moment, don't ever think that you can't do anything, because all the things that I've learnt now, I always put myself down. I was thinking, so just because you've got a disability doesn't mean you can't do it, because if you put your mind to something, you work hard, you can actually turn your life around for the better. That's my message to people that are neurodiverse.
It's a very positive message, it's right to do that. And when we were looking at neurodiversity a few months ago, again, we were celebrating neurodiversity because actually there are many skills that you bring in that others don't have.
True.
Yeah.
Contribute to society.
Indeed. And Marcus, you mentioned earlier about the importance of the lockdown sessions, which you really enjoyed. Can you remember some of the people you were talking about, naming them, and what it meant to those people who were involved with that?
It was like a lifeline to them, because we were all trapped.
Yeah.
Like a bubble in your own home. Excuse me.
Okay.
And they were grateful for it.
Yeah.
We had games online and everything like that.
Right.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was great.
During COVID,
it really helped people.
Yeah.
And during lockdown with Zoom, as Marcus just touched on, is like some people were struggling, like a lot of people, with mental health during lockdown. And it was a massive lifeline to people.
Yeah, and I was amazed by what people could do on Zoom. There's different communities I work with around the country. One of them had a virtual parade.
Okay, wow.
I don't know how you did that, but they sort of managed to they couldn't do their normal annual parade, so they had a virtual parade, which
I can outdo that.
Go on.
I know somebody, a professional football club, that planned Pride in the metaverse.
In the metaverse. Now, we're talking about your journey there, going 6 years or so, and some of the challenges of doing it, not knowing how to run an organisation before you started doing this, and then to get nominated out of 85,000 entrants is pretty spectacular, I have to say. Well done.
Well done. I'd say. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So how did it feel when you got the news back?
It just felt, from my perspective, overwhelmed. It just felt like it wasn't real, but it was real.
Yeah. Some kind of recognition of actually all the work that you've done.
We've done a lot of incredible hard work.
Yeah,
over the years.
Any highlights that stick out in your head? And Wolves Pride been a key part of that, obviously.
Wolves Pride. No, we didn't attend because I look after my nan. That's got dementia.
Right.
So it's trying to juggle running a group and looking after someone with dementia. So it's incredibly hard.
Well, it is, and I've had that experience as well of my in-laws.
It's juggling and running a group,
and it's a full time. That's full time in itself. So trying to do the group alongside that, as well. But I'm just thinking about how this must have hit you really, really well in terms of getting that kind of recognition, Marcus. What was the kind of was there dancing around? Was celebration going on, or what was your kind of reaction?
We just looked at each other. We're like, what?
couldn't believe it.
Yeah. But you had the courage, obviously, to put a nomination in the first place.
Yeah.
And that takes some doing, doesn't it? Just to sort of put a nomination in, because you need confidence to do that, because you're putting yourself up there to be knocked down, if I'm being honest, if you don't sort of get anywhere as well. So that's absolutely brilliant. Well done to you. And did you expect it at all, or were you just sort of thinking, I'll put it in? Cause...
we did apply last year in 2024,
right.
And we didn't get through. We just thought, put ourselves forward. then it's up to the community. Then obviously they have to judge it, and we didn't get through. And we thought, should we apply this year? We didn't think we were going to be shortlisted like we did the year before, and then it was just like, wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it.
Part of the nomination process, because obviously the first stage is you kind of shoot your shot, you get nominated, and then obviously the shortlist happens, which is what you've actually managed to kind of get through in on. Was there anything that you did differently in the last 12 months that has maybe helped raise the narrative that you put forward?
I think it's because we, without going into specifics because of data protection, we support people from ethnic minority backgrounds that are probably seeking asylum, without mentioning names and everything like that. That obviously for being LGBT in certain countries, you know, they get stoned to death, and we know all the issues. So we're supporting a lot of people from the ethnic minority that are obviously trying to seek asylum, and obviously disabilities, which obviously for someone with a disability myself, I can relate to other people with disabilities. So I think that's probably why, as well as everything else that we're doing.
And I did say at the beginning of the show, when I looked on Google, that was the first thing that stood out to me, is the fact that, you know, you create a safe space for friendship, laughter and encouragement, but there was a categorically explicit focus on intersectionality. And we talked about disabilities and those who might be black, brown or multiracial people, which sometimes when we talk about LGBTQ inclusion, we miss out the intersectionalities of how it might be different for somebody who is perhaps a gay man who's white versus somebody who might be, I don't know, mixed heritage and a woman or a man.
From a certain background that
there's
obviously
so many
with
nuances.
LGBT it's against in their country.
Yeah, there's so many nuances and different layers. But we talked about, the power of storytelling, using arts and crafts, but actually just a safe space in whatever capacity that means. Is there anything new on your radar that we could get a heads up on?
In what way? Oh,
any events, any socials?
Any brilliant ideas you had recently? We could do that.
What do you want to work on in the next new 12 months?
You put me on the spot.
I've kind of put you on the spot
Yeah.
there. I'm trying to be cheeky to find out.
I know there's something that we took part in, a book, and I'll put you in touch with her. We know her as Catherine O'Connor, but her name's Flynn now. And we took part in this book that's going into schools, a curriculum, colleges, which I can put you in touch with. And I think she's published that book. So I don't know whether we can come on with her and together, because we took part in it. Maybe we can arrange to come on.
Yeah, we'll talk about it for the future.
How powerful is that?
Yeah.
That, you know, the younger generation are going to have some actual strong, visible voices. And the fact that it's part of the curriculum means it's educating everybody, which is something, as you talked about your experience in school, necessarily not your coming out journey, but, you know, society was different. It was a taboo, whereas now, not saying it's normalised, but the fact that it's going to be part of the curriculum is almost like it's just there, existing.
There's going to be some people that are going to go, why children?
Yeah.
Why you? I can't say, because obviously we're on radio, down people's. And it's like,
we talked about the
because
fact how, you know, the LGBTQIA plus diaspora does have elements of hate, and it still does exist.
I wish there was something like that, like books in schools about LGBT, and then I probably would have thought, okay, this is normal.
Yeah.
But back then, I felt like it wasn't.
Yeah.
And there was nothing back then.
We talked lots of times on the show here about how the dominant people write history, and you know, I know as a white male heterosexual, I've got more power than many other people in our community have, simply because I was born that way. It's got nothing to do with that, and therefore for me it's important then to make sure other voices are heard. But it's people like me. Or men like me, probably have written those books about written history. And it's not just around LGBTQ+, it's also around black history, it's around Biffin's ethnic. You know, the winners write the books, and that's one of the issues here. So the fact that you've managed to get through and you've got this LGBTQ+ voices in there.
But a lot of people,
remarkable.
like, we talked about us as a couple in our organisation, if that's correct, Marcus, wasn't it? And obviously there was a lot of other people from the LGBT community that took part in that book as well. I can't think of specifics, but I can come on with the person
it's
that
almost
did
like
the book.
LGBTQ history in a way. It's around those who have made a
Lived
difference,
experiences,
experience, contributed, and actually set up and achieved something which only is going to heighten self-confidence, aspirations. There's nothing to be fearful of this book. It's just a book on a bookshelf that talks about LGBTQ history and contributions.
But some people are fearful, though, aren't they? That's the trouble.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
I think sometimes you're fearful because you don't know what it's actually about.
Yeah.
So the fact that this book is just a aspirational book, it's not there teaching you how to do this or how to be this. It's just a book like there's so many other history books.
It's about voices being heard.
Yeah.
It's like some of the heterosexual community are accepting. We call them our allies. They're very accepting. But then I've come across some people I don't even know. When I'm like my granddad, very bubbly. I'll talk to anybody. And then people are like, what does LGBT mean?
Yeah.
And so sometimes I don't think they're homophobic. I think sometimes some heterosexual communities are homophobic, but then some are uneducated and they don't know what it means. So you have to balance the two.
They don't know what it means, or they don't understand the journey sometimes. I know that the journey differs for every single person.
Yeah.
But when we talk about, coming out, you're not just coming out once, you're coming out multiple times in different scenarios and situations sometimes. And that, prejudice still does exist in society, which always... It exists and it's kind of invisible, but, people feel it in different ways.
But then look at what the trans community have to go through.
Yeah.
It's like when they transition and then they have to come out to their families and they might disown them because they've transitioned from male to female or female to male.
A lot of support is needed in the sport you're doing. I'm glad it's getting that recognition. I asked you for a tune.
I'm a gay man and I didn't know much about the trans community or Marcus, but every day's a learning day. None of us know everything.
This is literally the motto of our show, isn't it, Chris?
Every day's a school day. Every day's a school day.
So true.
Paul, I asked you for a tune, and you came out with one probably that's
relevant to a lot of people.
Reflects you, and for lots of people. So,
This Is Me, Greatest Showman.
Absolutely.
I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts.
Here is Settle on Wolverhampton's WCRFM. This is me, as chosen by Paul Ryder and Marcus Cottrell, who are our guests this hour, because we're celebrating their shortlisting out of 85,000 organisations and people to get to the National Diversity Awards. It's going to be a bit of a do, this, isn't it?
I know. I've got a few ideas in mind, but I haven't really picked an outfit, neither of us at the moment. I've got a few ideas.
You're going to go shopping?
Yeah.
That was me asking this question because I was trying to picture and paint the night, but I'm like getting really excited that you guys have actually been shortlisted and you're going to be there in the physical presence alongside so many other movers and makers who are not only being celebrated for their work ethic but their dedication to this space. Can you name drop any high profile celebs?
It is in the public domain because I've seen it on Facebook and the National Diversity, and I'll leave that to Marcus.
So who have you seen out there, Marcus, who's going to be there?
Heartstoppers, the main characters, Kitten, Joe.
Right.
And you talked about, obviously...
Danny Beard.
Yeah, Danny
Claire
Beard.
Baldwin. Claire Baldwin. Yeah.
And we obviously talked about...
excited to meeting them.
Yeah, and we talked about, there's high-profile people like Stephen Fry who endorses such awards because it's just around contributing and enhancing equity and equality within society, which is always going to be existing.
Indeed. And we talked a little bit about your journey here, but I can't get over actually it's quite a short journey in terms of years, and actually lots of challenges there as well. Paul, I hope you feel good about yourselves, you two, because I think you've done an amazing thing.
I feel positive and more confident person, and I'm proud of myself. Good.
I think you should be as well. And what about what was the reaction of the rest of the group of Sparkle?
A lot of the community members that we talk to regular have said, we deserve this. I hope you win it. We hope we win it, but just to be shortlisted out of thousands is a momentum. even if we
just
don't
to be
win.
there is a honour.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I think it's
Well,
absolutely
don't
amazing.
get me wrong, we'd like to win, but just to be
course you would.
shortlisted out of thousands, that is a momentum.
Yeah. Well, it is absolutely.
Even
It
if
is,
you
it
don't
is really, really well done. So, what are the challenges still facing the LGBTQ plus community in terms of being recognised as you should be?
Elaborate. Do you mean like
I mean, in terms of
barriers?
acceptance and barriers, what do you still face day after day?
I'd say the trans community. Don't put me on the spot. I'm thinking it's all in the public domain about the trans community. Being who they are, they want to be, but obviously family disown them because obviously they're transitioning from male to female or male to female or female to male, and obviously ethnic minority backgrounds. From where they live, obviously you get stoned to death and all that, and they can't be themselves, and the list just goes on. That's just highlighting a couple.
Yeah, I guess to summarise that, kind of addressing the elephant in this conversation is there's loads of things happening in the media in terms of the way stories are being painted. There's, issues within legislation that is changing and then reverting back, when actually the crux of the matter is this impacts real people that have always existed.
What don't help is the media, like you just touched
they've always
on,
existed. People becoming trans is not a new phenomenon.
No.
And there's also people who are intersex or, Aphrodites. There's multitude of layers, and if you layer in some of your other protected characteristics like race, ethnicity, disabilities, the barriers become higher, and if not, the journey becomes
so
longer.
You've got more than one barrier. Yeah,
and a key message from me is people are real people. Empathy is so crucial.
I just see people as people. I know obviously some people are ethnic minority, people have got disabilities, but we're all people. We're all human beings at the end of the day.
Are the same in some ways. But, we talked about role models and actually, just being present at the awards. You could be a role model for, loads of people out there.
Sure, you're already.
Yeah, you are.
And you don't even know it.
But
I hope we are role models to people.
Like to think so.
Yeah. And what's
people look up to us.
Yeah, and what's your departing words of wisdom? You talked about, the song that you picked is, you are you.
This is me.
This is me.
Being your true, authentic self.
Yeah, I'm being allowed to be that, because that's what this is about, and it's being allowed to be who you are.
And don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise. Just be your true, authentic self.
Paul, Marcus, thank you both very much indeed. Hope you win.
Thank
if you don't win, hope you have a really great weekend.
Sure will.
Make the most of it,
There'll be lots of champagne, so I'll send you.
You should be okay. You should be okay. And if you do win, obviously, we'll want to hear about it.
Yeah, we'll come back on if we win, definitely.
Indeed. Well, you must be a trophy involved. You've got to bring it back, the trophy, haven't you?
But keep up the good work, and thank you for all the contributions to, not only the LGBTQI diaspora, but actually dismantling some of the myths and bridging the gap between allies and people.
Indeed. Thank you both very much indeed. Thank you.
Your station for your city. 101.8 WCR FM.